Just based on training purposes, what our officers told to do.
Again, you're referring back to a specific issue, this incident, and I'm not going to make any generalities or talk about this specific incident because it's open. It's an open investigation. So as far as tactics and what was done, there's an open investigation. We're going to let that process move forward, and then at a given time, we'll vet out those specific issues that you and many people in our community, including myself, have raised.
But just from a training side of it, not to get into specifics, when an officer, what are they told when leaving?
I'm not going to answer that specific because you're going back to the specific incident, but those specifics and tactics will be vetted out at a certain time.
What does the statute say about the use of deadly force with civilians?
Again, I just don't.
Can I refer to the use of force policy that's on our website?
I know I suppose that's a specific one, but initially you indicated that the officers had reason to believe that Mr. Barmore was armed with a knife. Ultimately, that was not true.
That's correct.
He was not armed.
That's correct.
Mr. Piscotto, if I could ask you a question. In general terms, I know you can't address this specific issue, but trust seems to be a really big concern at this time. What would you like the people who are here today, who are wondering to what degree of trust they should put in their officials, what would you like to say to them who are wondering right now how much trust they should have?
I'd like to speak on behalf of the State's Attorney's Office. And the State's Attorney's Office intends to conduct this matter and this, with regards to this incident, and follow the rules, the laws, and the policies that have been laid out. I would hope that the community can give those that you see before you and the agencies that you don't the opportunity to thoroughly investigate the matter and present that to the Office of the State's Attorney for review. I'd like to hope that once the process has been completed, that there is community satisfaction with what has gone on. I understand right now that there are concerns, and I'm not at this point in time going to indicate that what conduct has occurred or hasn't occurred with regards to the investigation and whether or not anybody should, how they should view that or judge it. What I'm asking is that the community allow this process to go forward, that you understand that the laws that exist and the different agencies that are involved and their legal responsibilities and ability to act independent of each other will itself provide for appropriate checks and balances. If not, the community will ask questions. And we live in a society where questions are allowed to be asked and are appropriate. And I don't think anybody in this room wants to live in a society where questions aren't asked and questions aren't appropriate. And from there, I think we can build the trust. Thank you, Bob.
Mayor, I just obviously a lot of, we can people to remain calm, but people are upset. And I'm wondering if there's anything going beyond what we're hearing here today, a time people can get together and talk about this. Is there anything planned?
Well, and I just will reference, the chief had a meeting with a group of concerned members of our local clergy yesterday. Just prior to this press conference, a number of us had a meeting up in my office with probably 35, 40 members of the community that had concerns and questions. We're holding this press conference in an effort to get information out about the process. There's concerns and issues that are raised routinely. This is part of the job of being an elected official. This is part of the job that we have in trying to explain the processes that are moving forward. I am very open to ideas about how to improve communications, continue communications, answer questions about what we do. What we found out over the last couple days is a lot of people weren't aware of some of the systems we have in place already to monitor our conduct. Sometimes I guess I forget because I'm the one oftentimes who's the subject of some of the critique internally with some of the systems we put in place. It's not an easy decision. Some of the disciplinary actions that we've had to go through in the past involving our own department, but we've done what we felt we had to do at every step of the way. And I think, and I've asked, and I hope that helps to build credibility that we're very willing to challenge ourselves when we think that we've made mistakes, or we've had officers that made mistakes. On the other hand, we have a system, because we're willing to criticize ourselves when we make mistakes, but also ask for credibility and faith in the system when we've had cases where we've ruled a shooting, for example, to be appropriate. Again, not passing any decision on this current case, except to say that we're working every day, all of us as elected officials, to go in front of our community. We stand for re-election, and we have to simply put ourselves out there behind the work that we do and the credibility we build. And I'm standing behind my own willingness, and I know the Chief's willingness in the past, to hold his department, our city's and community's department accountable. And I think the other elected officials here do the same thing. So we have a process in place. I'm very confident that we will do a thorough and accurate and complete investigation. But after that, we hand it over to the state's attorney's office, and the state's attorney's office has to do his job and looking at the evidence, asking questions, probing if he doesn't think all the information may or may is there. And I'd say in terms of overall issues that are facing the community right now, we have concerns, like I said, over a number of issues, even before this shooting on Monday, about things happening in the community. I'm very open into dialogue on those questions. Now, I can tell you where we'll have dialogue throughout the fall on our city's budget. A lot of the questions that have come up recently come because we're making cuts in our budget. It's an extremely challenging economic time. Delivering tough news is not something anybody enjoys, but we're going to continue to do that. So depending on what area you might want to get into, we're going to have a lot of opportunities for discussion. And as I've put the invitation out there, if there's other ideas about how to engage in open communication about the challenges that this community faces, I'm certainly personally open to that.
Chief Epperson, will the internal investigation cover the police interviewing of witnesses in this case? There was concerns expressed today about the interview of a 17-year-old young lady who was interviewed by the police. And again, there were suggestions at the risk of getting specific that this young lady was not allowed to have any adults present and held for a long time.
Anyone that was a witness to the incident has been or will be, and we encourage those in the community that know information about the incident that haven't been interviewed to come forward. So I'm the point of contact for the police department. So any news that's going out from the police department is coming from me. The information that you're receiving is some non-police sources. And so everyone that saw something is going to be interviewed. We're going to get all that information from those individuals at the conclusion and present that investigation to the state's attorney's office. I'd be remiss not to make a couple of comments, and Deputy Chief Mark